Good afternoon, everybody. Voilà. First, we're going to say something, then we're going to sign what we have to sign. That's what we are here for today. Dear Mr. Minister from Armenia, Excellency, dear Mr. Commissioner, and where is Ladislav, the President of Eurojust. Today is an important day. Every day is an important day, but certainly today is an important day because as Belgian Minister of Justice under the Belgian presidency of the European Council, I'm honored and pleased that we are able to proceed with the signature today of the agreement between the European Union and the Republic of Armenia on cooperation between Eurojust and the authorities of the Republic of Armenia that are competent for judicial cooperation in criminal matters. Voilà, that was a mouthful, but voilà, I will explain what it is about, ladies and gentlemen, because it is important. This agreement for cooperation between Eurojust and Armenia is the first agreement of a set of 13 agreements with the Council authorized by the Commission to negotiate in March 21. And in line with the negotiation mandate, the Commission conducted the negotiations in consultation with the Council Working Party on cooperation in criminal matters. That's what we call COPEN. So as a result of the great willingness of Armenia to conclude these negotiations swiftly and the excellent preparation of the Armenian authorities, the negotiations with Armenia could be handled very speedily. As first agreement, ladies and gentlemen, the text will constitute the basis for the other 12 agreements and maybe for even more agreements. Why not? Because in criminal matters, international cooperation is key. So we need to collaborate with lots of countries, with lots of judicial authorities. So most important, of course, is that this agreement between the European Union and Armenia will provide a solid basis for cooperation between Armenia and Eurojust, our important agency of magistrates and prosecutors. And I'm sure the Commissioner, Didier, will say more about this aspect, but please allow me to say the following, ladies and gentlemen. This agreement is particularly important for the Belgian presidency because judicial cooperation between the European Union and third countries is for us a key priority. It is especially needed to fight, there I am again, Didier, to fight organized crime, to fight drug-related organized crime, which is a growing plague. Together, this morning, we were together with Catherine de Bolle, the president of Europol, to present an international European mapping of who is who in organized crime in Europe. So organized crime, we all are aware of the fact that organized crime is endangering our citizens, but also the foundations of our societies because of the violence as well as the risk of corruption and infiltration. So not only violence, not only public health, but also corruption and infiltration. The criminal groups act globally, and a country like Belgium in the heart of Europe cannot win this fight on its own. No country can. The EU cannot win this fight on its own. Building strong and efficient judicial cooperation with our partners around the globe is key, is essential. And this agreement, ladies and gentlemen, on cooperation between Eurojust and Armenia will contribute to this aim. It's not a miracle solution, but it's another important step to fight against crime together. Next step in the process, if my information is correct, is the consent of the European Parliament, which we will hope to obtain under the current legislator, so that the agreement can enter into force as soon as possible. I think that's our common goal. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank warmly our negotiating teams on both sides of for their efforts, which led to the successful conclusion of the negotiations on the agreement we are signing today. So, dear Excellency, thank you for your willingness to cooperate, and thank you, Didier, as always, Commissioner, for the excellent collaboration. Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. Dear Minister Myrzoyan and dear Minister Antikel, dear Paul, dear Ladislav, the President of Eurojust, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to repeat what I said, so of course it's important that we have now the first agreement of this kind since the entry into application of the Eurojust regulation in December 2019. But we have seen from the beginning a very good interest and very important interest from the Armenian authorities about such a kind of agreement with a strong engagement. And like you said, Paul, it was very impressive to see the dedication of the teams to negotiate, and thanks for that on both sides. On the EU side, the success is the result also of the commitment of all the institutions involved. The Council, and I thank the Belgian presidency for very recently the evolution through the authorization of the signature that we will organize today in some minutes of the agreement, but also through before that the adoption of the negotiating mandate. The Parliament, which has indicated that it aims at giving its consent to the conclusion of the agreement at its next plenary meeting, still this month, so before the end of this legislature. So it's very important that we have also the support of the Parliament. And the quick progress is important because we will have the opportunity to facilitate judicial cooperation between the EU, including the Member States, of course, and Armenia. And we will raise this cooperation to the next level. Of course, it's a game changer, the agreement. It's a possibility to go very high in the quality and effectiveness of our cooperation, and maybe with a good exchange of operational data in the context of criminal investigations. And you know, it's a very sensitive issue because we need to have a balanced approach between the rule of law, privacy, data protection on one side, and the capacity to have a good investigations and prosecutions on the other side. But we are very sure that we have a good agreement with this framework, and under this agreement, Armenia will furthermore become part of a network of prosecutors and judges from almost 80 countries worldwide, facilitating state-of-art communications and the exchange of information across border cases for both sides, and maybe an exchange of best practices because the prosecutors will have to work together, sometimes maybe in joint investigation team if it's needed. In that respect, I want to highlight one important aspect of our reinforced cooperation. This agreement will allow Armenia to second a liaison prosecutor to Eurojust, and thus participate in coordinated actions, including the coordinated investigations and prosecution of selected cross-border cases as well, I said, as to be part of joint investigation teams. So the next step will be maybe to work in such a way with a liaison officer and then the participation in the different JITs that we organize for some kind of case. And we know from our experience with many countries around the world that these are particularly effective and mutually beneficial investigative tools. It's very useful to do that. And of course, let me conclude by stating that today marks the end, of course, of the negotiation process leading up to the adoption of this agreement between the European Union and the Republic of Armenia. But it's also the start of a new phase of ever stronger cooperation between the two sides. In this way, this agreement will contribute to developing a stronger partnership between the European Union and Armenia, and I'm therefore particularly honored to be here today on behalf of the European Commission for this signing ceremony. We have started, Ladislav, to fix the list of possible partners. Then we have engaged the first contact. We have engaged the real negotiations. I'm very proud that now we have the possibility to sign the first agreement, but not the last. I'm sure that we'll continue with a long list that we have decided with the Council and with the authorization of the Council, because to negotiate we need to receive a mandate. So thanks for that.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister, Honourable Commission, Honourable President of Eurojust. It is really a great pleasure to sign today the agreement which is aimed at further strengthening the cooperation between the Republic of Armenia and the European Union in the field of justice, rule of law, and fight against serious transnational crimes. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to all colleagues here in the EU institutions, the Belgian presidency and President Hamran for his personal contribution, as well as my colleagues in Armenia's ministries and agencies for taking care of these negotiations. As already said, Armenia was interested in signing this agreement from the very beginning. We were, if I'm not mistaken, the first to start the negotiations, and now we see that, and we're proud to say that we are the first to conclude the negotiations and to sign finally the agreement. Of course, we, and I would like to emphasize this, we have already had the cooperation, the close cooperation with the with Eurojust, with Europol, even without this agreement, but now this agreement comes to strengthen, comes to institutionalize this cooperation, by signing this agreement, we also make one step closer to the full implementation of the Armenia-EU Comprehensive and Enhanced Partnership Agreement, but also this opens doors to new opportunities for exchange of expertise and capacity building, as we discussed earlier. This agreement will have an indispensable role when it comes to fostering sectoral cooperation between the competent authorities of Armenia and the European Union, aimed at facilitating mutual legal assistance, elaborating joint investigation strategies, and assisting in the resolution of jurisdictional issues. It's noteworthy that with Europol we have already signed several documents which our Parliament is set to ratify these very days. So thank you very much, and congratulations, and let's proceed.
It's really signed. It's really signed.